Hello everyone, this is Adam Shoemaker, rector at St. Stephen's Episcopal Church in Charleston. Hope you are well on this Friday afternoon. I'm here to pray with you using the words of Psalm number 100. We are now 2/3 of the way through the Psalter. We've been praying a psalm each day during the week for a few months now. There are 150 psalms in the Psalter, and so it's a milestone that we reach Psalm number 100 today. And this is a very short psalm. It is only 4 verses long. It can be found beginning towards the bottom of page 729 in the Book of Common Prayer, and I invite you to follow along if you have a prayer book handy. Be joyful in the Lord, all you lands. Serve the Lord with gladness, and come before his presence with a song. Know this, the Lord himself is God. He himself has made us, and we are his. We are his people and the sheep of his pasture. Enter his gates with thanksgiving. Go into his courts with praise. Give thanks to him and call upon his name. For the Lord is good, his mercy is everlasting, and his faithfulness endures from age to age. As we move ever closer to Christmas, I find myself reflecting more and more on the mystery of what we Christians call the Incarnation, what we celebrate in the Christmas season, the Word made flesh, God's love made manifest in our world through the birth of Jesus. An assurance that God's love is with us, and not just with us, but in us. For as the 100th Psalm reminds us, we are God's people. God has made us. We are God's, and so we each have something of God inside of us, a divine spark, as the poets have put it. And the call of Christmas, in my mind, is about going out into the world and striving to recognize that spark in another, in our neighbor, striving to live and love as God in Christ loves us, and to love our neighbors, all of our neighbors, as ourselves. To recognize the presence of God in those around us, and to acknowledge that we need one another to be who we've been called to be and to approximate God's truth, because everybody has something of God in them. Everybody has something of God's truth. So we need to live our lives in community. We need to live our lives together. And I believe we're feeling that acutely during this COVID-19 pandemic, aren't we? Given the time we've had to spend apart. But even in this time in which we have to remain physically distant, our prayers, our ability to worship online, a phone call to someone that you know to try to lift them up, there are ways in which we are reminded and able to stay in touch with one another, reminded of our fellowship of faith, of the relationships that make life most meaningful. And I would encourage you, friends, to hold on to that, hold on to the knowledge that we are part of a greater whole, even in this time when we may feel isolated. I hope you have a very good weekend. We'll be back to pray with you on Monday using the 101st Psalm. In the meantime, be safe, be well, wear your mask, and you keep the faith.